Just checking in the social media. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, just waiting for a couple of seconds, and YouTube as well. At times, we are busy in our work, in our personal life, professional life. Things get caught up. I'm in the sales domain, so towards the month end, you always have the pressure of delivering the final numbers. While I was so busy with my work, I realized only towards the later half of the day that I was not even prepared for today morning. I had two options. The moment the alarm rang today at 5 a.m. in the morning, the first thing I was telling myself is, Surya, it's okay. Even if you don't do a live, what does it matter? Anyways, you don't have that many people following you or looking at you, and uh, it's okay. It's always important to be well prepared, be perfectly prepared, have the mind map ready, have all the points ready, have the stories ready, every single thing. Only then you will be able to show up because your lives are this long. That was one side of the head telling me. By the way, all this is happening while I'm still asleep and the alarm is ringing. The other part, you have been going live every single day for the last 7 days. 1 week is successfully done. The last time you did something like this, you were able to do this for 8 months straight without fail. What results did it give you? Now, these were the two conversations that were going on. Now, you have to tell me while you're listening, is it, have you ever felt something like this going on? So, I obviously knew that I had to wake up. So, I woke up, had to do my, today I didn't do any workouts as such, but then I love going to that little pond and park and just enjoying myself. Sport is something I figured it out. So it all went on. But then I came back following all the routine, relaxing, and then I realized, oh, I have to show up for the live and I am not even prepared. What am I going to talk about? Oh, what if I just blabber something? Maybe you will find out, maybe you will not. I don't really know. What if I just choose any kind of random topic and just talk about it? Let's see where the conversation is going to flow. Or let's take this opportunity to make the most of it by preparing something within a short period of time and also share exactly what I am feeling. And I will tell you the truth. I am scared as, I don't want to use any swear words here, but I'm really, really scared. And that's okay. In India, we have this very amazing quote by one of the soft drink companies which became viral. Like literally, it has a cult status right now. It's called "Dar ke aage jeet hai," which translates to the other side of fear is victory. So yesterday I was doing some work, but then I always have a habit of interacting with AI, brainstorming and brain dumping and doing a lot of cross questioning and all. So in one of the sessions, one of the episodes, I was just discussing about breaking down the fear of public speaking. Public speaking is feared worse than death, 87% of the global population. And I was just going back and forth about why this exactly happens. Just out of curiosity, I just said, oh, we've had an amazing conversation so far. Whatever conversation that we've had, can you give me a nice little mind map based on our conversation? Heading, subheading, heading, subheading. Now, 5 minutes before this particular live, just got the thought, okay, why not use that conversation itself as one as the topic of today's life? Every single one of us will face this at some point of time in our lives or the other, isn't it? In school, we've been told, oh, you have to come for a unit test, or suddenly you have to speak on stage, or there's a Viva Voce exam that's happening. In the office, tomorrow is your presentation turn. You have to do it. Or maybe you were told and you forgot. You have to prepare and you have to present. Or maybe worse, if people think that you speak well, suddenly you will be given the opportunity to lead out of the blue. And you have to prepare and you have to present, you have to perform. More, more than that, it's a matter of self-respect personally for me. Come on, I have to show up live, and I have to give you a good experience. Forget about you. I'm going to watch these videos again. So I need to give myself a good experience. Keeping all these things in context, here is us unfolding the secret of stage fear. You're not scared of public speaking. It's something deeper. And that is what we are going to uncover today. So at times you will see me looking down because I have just the bullet points to make sure that I am sequentially and in an organized manner I'm speaking. But the depth of it is going to be every single thing that I'll pick up pieces from my life, personal life, and share to help you understand what's the power of the whole concept. Okay. So to begin with, we have a very, very important element, that is the myth. And what is the myth? I have stage fear. Now, understand this. The moment you put some words out of your mouth, allow the words pop up from your mouth, it instantly becomes your truth. It accelerates beyond, it passes through all the layers of just a thought to belief to conviction to truth. Now, the truth can be a pseudo truth as well. I fear public speaking. I'm scared of public speaking. But the truth is, we don't fear the stage. We fear opinions. We fear judgments. We fear rejections. We fear that we are not going to be good enough. But here's the question: how can you be good enough at something that you haven't even learned? So I'm recalling two episodes. The first episode is one of the days in college. That was the first time I was asked to speak uh, on college, addressing the entire class. So that day the professor just didn't want to teach anything, so she just said that, listen, today I don't have anything to teach because it's a substitute period. I just want to have some fun with you all. Is that okay? We were like, yeah, definitely, why not? So she had some chits, she had some topics, and she picked up people one by one and just randomly called this person, gave them a topic, or topics like house, family, parents, hobbies, all of these things, and people were talking. In our college, there was one amazing guy. He, when he spoke, people would laugh, people would get mesmerized like anything. And my habit, innate habit, was always modeling and mimicking. If I find something good in someone, I'm literally going to copy and paste exactly the way they do it so that I can adapt a part of them with me. So when I was given the chance to speak, he had just spoken a couple of minutes before me. Okay. So what I did is I just replicated the exact same framework, the exact same style, only to realize that the entire batch was not even interested. In fact, they were laughing and making comments like, this guy's copying. But still, I somehow finished. When I was walking down, the professor pat on my back and said, you did a good job. After the class, she said, even though everyone was laughing at you, you still made sure that you held the stage, you made your point, and then you walked out. And that's the day it taught me. Firstly, I don't even know how to speak on stage. Never really wanted to speak on stage after that seventh standard debacle. You remember when I peed in front of the whole school. Now, at this point of time, I know all the techniques and methods. So college was 2015 that year. Cut to 13th July 2020, 13th August 2021. The first time I'm speaking on TEDx, and that was a virtual event. This time I had learned a lot of techniques and methods. I had started making a lot of videos. I was consistent and I was prepared for on my speech. I was prepared. My speech was prepared. Grammatically, I mess up at times. This time I took a deep breath in, delivered, although it was on a virtual setup, but I delivered with the intention that every single soul who is there in that virtual Zoom room, they are going to experience a shift. That intent was sorted. I took a deep breath in, just like how I did right now, shared every single thing without the pressure of whether I remember anything or not. The beauty when I ended, I started reading the comments. Tears are rolling down my eyes. This shifted me massively. I'm so blessed that I got to attend this speech live. These comments flooded the entire Zoom room. Forget about what the audience told me. I was feeling over the moon, but I still feel scared, even now. That's the point. We feel that we are scared of public speaking. It's not the fear, it's the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown gets reduced when you prepare, when you practice techniques and methods, you follow the process, you activate and you give, you set that intention to create that kind of an impact. It just reduces it, doesn't take it away. And the moment you consider that the fear is actually nervousness, nervousness is a good thing. Nervousness helps you prepare in the background, helps you to practice in private so that you will get rewarded in public. Myth. Now, if you break down these two stories that I just guided you to, do we really have a fear of speaking, or is it the fear of untrained emotions? Firstly, we are never taught about our emotions. We are never taught how to understand our emotions. We establishing and acknowledging ourselves just the way it is, not worse than it is, not better than it is. For example, right now, at the start itself, I told you, I'm not sure whether I'm prepared for this. However, I'm going to give my best. I'm scared. Yet, I'm going to channel that. Getting the idea? Because I know what I am feeling and what I want you to feel, what I want myself to feel when I'm going to watch this video in retrospection. I know where I am. I know where I want to be. This conversation is happening internally, which is allowing me to channel it. And that is always self communication. Does that make sense? So we're going to go to the real problem now that we've broken down the myth. And that real problem again brings down to that point. We were never ever trained to on how to communicate with ourselves. Think about it. Have you ever faced a moment when you felt that you lost control and you got angry only to realize that you shouldn't have gotten angry? So I'm reminded of this very difficult episode, although I'm not sure whether I'll be able to portray it exactly how it's supposed to be. I had just finished my second year, went home, and that was a time when there was a lot of things going on with my parents. My mom has always been the control freak. She wanted me to study well. She wanted me to do good. She wanted, and she used to do every possible thing in her power to make sure that she establishes her authority over me and her position over me, that she is the mom of the house. She's the one who's given birth to me. So I better follow every single thing that she says, either with both the carrot as well as the stick approach, not the carrot, the stick. So mostly I would listen to her and do everything she says so that she doesn't scold me or doesn't beat me. Even to this date, it's that same uh, perspective or that same relationship I share with my parents up until this point. I'm scared to share everything with her because I know she's going to scold me or beat me. So that day, I don't know what came over me. I started pinpointing every single episode by episode, date, time, incident, in detail, episodes of where I was either scolded or beaten up without a proper reason. A batchmate complained over telephone and mummy beat me up. Someone lied about me. Mummy decided to trust the other person, not me. And in spite of me screaming, Mummy, I didn't do it, I didn't do it, still I got beaten up. When the relatives in my maternal uncle's house, when we were there and my cousins and all were there, the cousins would do some kind of a naughtiness. Their moms, as in my aunts, would not tell anything to them, rather would point the finger They would point the finger at me. They would tell their moms. Their moms would point a finger at me, and mummy would think, oh, because so many people are pointing a finger at him, probably he's only at fault. Let's set an example. And of course, if I if I'm being told that I did the naughtiness, my uncles and grandfather would also come and beat me up pretty bad, so that I'm set as an example for all the others. Oh, if we beat him properly, we will make sure that all the others are not doing any kind of naughtiness. So all these episodes by episodes, I narrated it to my mom, and I was asking her, why did you do it? Now I lost the whole control of when to stop, and I soon started to realize that she's probably having some blackouts. I don't know what happened. Suddenly she fainted, and we didn't know what to do. My dad was there. He came out, and he's like, what did you do? What did you do? My brother started screaming at me, oh, why are you talking to your mummy like this? She's getting sick. She's getting sick. Do something, do something. So we immediately got, I mean, because I was in my second year, I had that little experience of the basic emergency medicine. So what I felt was a blood pressure had dropped for some reason because of the emotional setback and everything. So immediately salt, sugar, mixing it in water, squeeze of lemon, making her drink that, and then she was resting properly for around 4 to 5, 6 hours, and then she woke up. When she woke up, everything was fine, but then we didn't speak for quite a few months about that. I Now in retrospection, I'm able to realize I probably put her through some form of an anxiety episode, episode of anxiety, or an episode of panic, where her emotional equilibrium took control of the physical body. Why did that happen? Imagine as a small little child, all the complaints and all these things. I'm looking for answers, right? I need answers, and answers are built, the questions are building up from childhood. At some point of time, I had to explode. And I did that day. I couldn't hold. We are not able to control our communication, and we end up hurting people, or maybe offending people, because deep inside we are not clear about our thoughts, our emotions. We know that our voice inside is messy, it's fearful, it's critical, isn't it? When you make a video of yourself, if you watch the public speaking masterclass, and if you made that video of yourself, in spite of me telling you not to watch it, I'm sure you must have watched it at least once or twice and found out so many faults. If inner voice is not clear, do you really expect that your outer voice is going to be clear for the other person to understand? Because at the end of the day, your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner world. So that day, I spoke like that to my mom because of all the grudges that was coming in. Even now at this point of time, of course, because I've learned the techniques and methods, I try to construct it properly and share that, mummy, there are certain things that I want to talk to you about, but I want you to know that this is not the 30-year-old Suryadeep talking, 29-year-old Suryadeep talking. This is an accumulation all the way from the 12-year-old Suryadeep, 13, 14, 15-year-old, and all those things is might come out. So, and then after setting the context, she's well prepared, and then I ask her questions. The tonality is also a lot different. And I tell her, I want to team up with you and I want to solve this together. What can we do? What can we do so that I can share everything with you? What can we do so that I don't have that fear on you anymore? I still feel you'll scold me, you'll beat me. How can I move away from that? Again, it takes years to develop that. But I'm just trying to make you aware that you cannot express clearly what you decide to suppress internally. You remember how we started? I am scared. Even now, I'm scared. The next set of points that are written, my brain is trying to, on one side of it, I'm talking to you. Deeper on the other side, I'm trying to find out what are the stories that can relate to these points, because I'm not prepared. Okay. Only when we are able to accept whatever we are feeling and be open and vulnerable about it, trusting that whoever's going to listen will understand too. And that's the beauty of being human. Only you feel that you need to be perfect. Just because you've seen people who are perfect being appreciated and applauded, you have no idea they are just perfect. They will be applauded. They will not be remembered. And if you're vulnerable, if you're true, if people are able to feel your intentions, they will connect with you, they will stay with you. From my college days until my college days, I don't even remember if I have a friend, even a proper acquaintance. Like, I'm not even in touch with anyone across school or college. Once in a while, one of my college batchmates will interact over call. That happens once every 6 months. I don't put any efforts from my end to connect with anyone across school and college, honestly. But after my college, I learned the techniques and methods. And today, I have two or three very, very dear friends whom I can literally call any time in this of the day. And I know that I have them for life. Now, when we understood the myth, we understood the actual problem, the power of suppressing your emotions and then versus the vulnerability of expressing it. What would be those hidden causes? And there are majorly three. The first is, this is another episode that I would like to walk you towards. There was this girl in my school. She was my first love. She is my first love. I mean, first love, you never forget your first love, right? As a child, I'm talking about Montessori and kindergarten days. During kindergarten days, I was very naughty. So the girls, when they are in kindergarten, girls are obviously a little more mature than guys, right? But as a kindergarten, what do you understand? So I was trying to run around and all, and she tried to reprimand me at a couple of times. Like, as a batchmate, we were both in the same class. Hey, you should not run. Don't you know that only monkeys run? Something like this, she said. Now I'm talking about the year 2000 or 2001. Okay, not exactly able to remember the year and all for some reason. Usually I'm good at dates and times and days, but again, I don't want to pressurize myself too much. What I did is I got so angry, I pulled her tie. And back then in school, we had the tie which comes up with a hook. So if you loosen up the tie, it loosens the hook. If you pull the tie, it tightens the hook. So when I pulled the entire thing, she choked. And I said, huh? You now tell now you were telling me, right? I'm a monkey, right? I'm a monkey, right? Her mom came in, her mom tried to say, hey, who is this hooligan and every single thing. My mom came in, and my mom usually she was like, why are you doing it? Why did you do this? I went home and got a beating nicely. But then because of that incident, my mom and her mom became good friends. Her house were near to the school, so my mom would come. My brother started joining the school as a nursery student. His school would get over at around 12 o'clock. She didn't want to come back home and then again come to pick me. She would stay in her house only. And then at 1:30, my school would get over. She would pick me. Both of us would go. And that's how they became good friends. Now, I started liking her from that time itself. Like, oh my God, she's so cute. She's so beautiful. She's so sweet. All of these things. Now, when we moved to class one, our sections got parted. She moved to the B section, I moved to the A section, but we still were in touch. But then you know what happens, right? When two students are not in the same batch, they don't really get to talk to each other. And as in a co-education school, girls only talk to girls, guys don't talk to girls, and we don't even know what happens. I tried to talk to her a couple of times, but she didn't express that same interest like she did when we were in our kindergarten days. Then again in class nine, we got united. As in, she took science, so science was A section. I took science. I also got in. I was already in A section, remained in A section, and this time we had just hit the teenage. So there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of feelings. And mind you, every single day in school, I would peep from different parts of the ground during the tiffin period to look at her. Okay. What happened is from class 9 all the way till class 12, every single day, I wanted to speak to her. I wanted to ask her, is it okay if we can share our tiffin together? Is it okay if we can study together? Is it okay if I can have your number? Is it okay if I can call you? Can we do homework together? No, just talk to her. Just talk to her. I didn't want anything as such, just a friend. But what if she gives me a slap? What if she laughs it off? What if she complains to her mom and her mom complains to my mom and my mom beats me up? All these things goes in. The point is, the first biggest hidden cause why we fail to speak is because we massively overthink even before we have initiated the conversation. There's an internal conversation that goes in. The second reason is I don't even know what to say. So even if I pierce through the barrier of, okay, Suryadeep, let's go and talk. But then what if she replies and then I become completely blank? Imagine she's talking and she's so beautiful that I will just keep looking at her. And that will become so awkward. So what am I really going to say? What's the next thing that I'm going to say? Now I have to prepare for every conversation, the reply's reply. Are you able to see it's adding up? Okay. First is overthinking and then disconnection. And the third, there were a few guys in school who had the courage to walk up to her and talk. They were handsome, they were confident, they looked better than me. I was like a couch potato in school. They scored better grades, they were more talented. Why would she speak to me and she can just go on speaking with them? She has her own girl gang. Why should she speak to me separately when she has a girl gang to speak to? Like, I don't even have any friends in school. The third point is comparison. When we see someone better than us, we feel inferior to them. And we don't even want to attempt because failure and rejection is worse than the self sabotage, isn't it? The, and yet, if you look at in retrospection, it's only failures and rejections that teaches you. It uncovers the undiscovered element. Failures and rejections is what separates you from stagnancy to wisdom. Wow, that came out really good. I think that'll turn out to be a reel later. Okay. If that is what, if these are the three hidden causes and that incident happened, how do we change it? So I will walk you through from my school days. Now, of course, I did end up trying to speak to her during our last couple of days in school. I did manage to get her number and we would text occasionally. But by that time, he had already got a boyfriend and she got into a relationship with that guy. And right now, at this point of time, I'm not even in touch. Although whenever I go to Kolkata, I do make sure that I walk near her house, like through that lane, with that expectation that at least she'll be going to her house or coming out of her house, and we might strike a conversation. I mean, again, hypothesis. That's all. But the day I went to college in my first year and second year, by that time I had realized if I have to break this fear of getting to speak to girls, I need to learn how to speak to girls. That's when I got in touch with the concept called dating coaching. I got into a couple of courses on Udemy, a couple of books related to learning how to text a girl, how to talk to a girl, how to quote without sounding too cringy and all, how to take control of a conversation, especially with the opposite gender. How do you maintain your aura around a female, even though you're not the most beautiful, the most handsome, the most talented soul on this planet? How do you make the other person feel special? So the shift, which is the next stage that we're going to talk about, the first thing is you've got to replace the judgment with a curiosity to express. Every single time I So while I learned the techniques and methods from that whole, the books, the courses and everything, and I started using this platform called Facebook as a dating platform. As in, I would just send friend requests to girls from our college, as in not my batch necessarily. We had other departments also within the same ecosystem. So we had MBA, we had BBA, we had nursing, we had architecture, engineering, all these different. Again, in engineering, you have all these different branches of engineering, and then we had the dental college also. So I started sending friend requests, and back then Facebook was, it's like, if you send friend requests to a group of people, their connections will come to your suggestions feed, and you can send friend requests so that you can build a network around that area itself, that community itself. So I started sending friend requests only to girls, and then they would accept, and then I would send the first text and get a response. That's how it would go. And I would always express myself exactly how it is. Like, hi, you don't know me, but I can't tell you how amazing I'm feeling that you accepted my connection request at least. I want to speak to you because I just felt I saw you a couple of times in the campus, and I never had the courage to walk up to you and speak to you because I'm scared of talking to girls in person. However, I'm learning. Is it okay if you can reply to my text and we can engage on a conversation? I can promise you the conversation with me is going to be memorable. If you reply to my text, I have a little surprise for you. And then they would reply. Some people would just reply in 1 or 2 words. I would try to carry forward the conversation. If they're not interested, I respected that and I unfriended them respectfully. If they were interested, so a couple of people would be like, hey, usually whenever a guy accepts our friend request, they're like, hey babes, and all those, the usual horrible way of cringy way of talking to a girl. And then I would get some very interesting responses. Hey, I mean, this is very thoughtful of you to express yourself exactly the way you are. And that was the first time I realized, wow, you being your authentic self and expressing what is going on, being curious about it and expressing that curiosity is useful. That was the head start of the communication skills for me. Of course, I got a chance to meet them. We would hang out a couple of times over coffee, over a sandwich, however it is. And that became a habit for me. I would go on to 2 or 3 dates every week, meeting new souls. And again, there's no agenda. Okay, there's nothing inside. Like, I just want to get more comfortable talking to women. And also, I realize that when you are friends with the opposite gender, it's something that something clicks. So replacing fear of judgment with curiosity of expression. Now, initial couple of days, what used to happen is, during my dating days, I would always go all out in over expressing, and that was one of my weaknesses, I would say. See, when you over express, it's like, imagine I met a girl and I said, wow, you're looking like this heaven sent angel. So beautiful. I love the way your eyes look, love the way you know. Now, when you overdo it, what happens is they start thinking, oh, this is turning out to be slightly weird. But then, instead of impressing others, when you just try to connect, and how do you really connect? You express yourself just the way you are, and also at the same time ask a lot of questions about the other person. So I began to realize, oh, women are exactly like us. The only thing that is different is the physical structure at a physical level. At a mental and emotional level, they are the epitome of emotions. That's my one of my perspectives, by the way. Women personify emotions. So you have to allow them to express their emotions. Only then you will be able to connect with them better. And if you're able to connect with women at an emotional level, you know that you've gained their trust and you have found yourself a good friend, because they are going to be guiding you with your emotions as well. As males, the more we grow, we are emotionally numb. There are only two emotions that we experience: happy and sad. Sad at times moves into anger as well. Happiness moves into elation at more. But we don't know any other emotions. Women, just like they have their cacophony of colors, cacophony of dresses, conglomeration of various aspects of cosmetics, they also have that's just the personification or the forms of the various forms of emotions that they wish to experience. This was also deep. Yeah. And then the final thing was organizing the thoughts before speaking. Usually, when a conversation would go on in any of those dates, they would go on talking about all these different things, like my ex had so many different qualities, but he didn't take care of me and all. My this girlfriend has this good habits, bad habits. That other girlfriend has this a good habit, that bad habit. She'll tell me about all her best friends and all. I am trying to process all the information. When she's done sharing and she'll ask me a question, I would be like, no, I mean, I'm still processing the entire thing. uh, is it okay if I can take some time? And while I'm doing so, is it okay if I can look at you for a few seconds? Immediately she'll start blushing. I'll get some time to think, and then I'll organize my thoughts and then I'll speak. Because oftentimes when we are scared, when we overthink, when I spoke about all those different hidden causes, right? When we overthink, we tend to speak even before we think, and that creates a problem. And it's not just about thinking before you speak. You have to consider the inner. So there's something called as the actual thing, and then there's the inner thing. So whenever you speak, one thing is you are speaking whatever it is that you're thinking, but you have to understand the perception is expressing what you are feeling and speaking your feeling. So when I started sharing words like, mm, I just want to stop you here and share with you something. Is that okay? And she'll give me the permission. Yeah, please tell me. Again, with women, it's important that you take permission. Again, I feel it's important for every human being. Okay, anything you want to share, ask permission first. So, and then I would say, I think I don't know, what have you done with your eyes? I can see that. I mean, at least my eyes are not like this. I can see that there is a border in your eyes. Now, I didn't know because in our house, uh, my mom doesn't really do much makeup, so I don't really know. I said, there's a very interesting border in your eyes. And then she laughed off. Suryadeep, this is called as kajal. Oh, okay. And what is kajal exactly? And then she'll give me the entire explanation. Okay. And then she'll rewind me back. Like, you were about to share something, right? Yeah, I wanted to share that. I don't know what you did with your eyes, but it's making me feel very happy and cheerful. Like I'm having some kind of a goosebumps every single time I'm looking at your eyes. Did you see what I just did? I just expressed my feelings exactly as they are, as raw as they are, as innocent as they are. And women catch those emotions, they catch the intention, they catch the authenticity. And that's how she became a good friend of mine. And then, of course, she gave me an explainer on what is kajal, why do women apply kajal, what's the significance of adding heavy kajal, light kajal on the upper eyelid, the lower eyelid, both put together, all different things. The conversation flowed effortlessly just because I chose to share my feelings. Now, here is also another very interesting thing if you see. With women, at times, I'm not talking about the whole concept where you express feelings and you expect it back. One of the things that I always believed when I started dating is I love you is actually a statement, isn't it? But look at the way we've turned the table. When we say I love you or anyone tells I love you to us, suddenly there is an answer expected. So if I say someone I love you, does is it mandatory for the other person to say I love you too? Huh? We keep asking questions, isn't it? But then when you realize that love is actually an action, it's a feeling. It's a feeling which is expressed as an action for the other person to just accept it as it is. I think I'm going way too deep here, so I'm gonna wind back. Maybe we'll talk about dating and talking communication with women in a completely different episode altogether. Okay, I can go hours and hours on this because I somehow feel all the dating days experiences right now at this point of time is helping me build such an amazing relationship with Yogeshwari, with my mom, and I have a couple of very, very, yeah, most of my circle, when I look at my mentors, my friends, people whom I can call friends, irrespective of age, mostly are women. And women say that they understand me, I understand them. Again, it's a different topic altogether. So the shift begins when you replace fear of judgment with curiosity for expression. You replace trying to impress others by just connecting with people, and then replace thinking before speaking. Of course, you have to do that, but then you navigate it towards expressing what you are feeling before speaking, understanding your feeling as well. When you do so, you will be able to achieve subconsciously a very, very simple 3L framework. In communication, you have to understand we have 2 ears and one mouth. At this point of time, while I'm talking to you, I'm looking at you and talking to you, knowing that you are listening to me. And that's the first L. You have to start with listening to your own thoughts first. Every thought, especially the thoughts that are bothering you. Now, on a day, you will have what research says that we have 50,000 plus thoughts in a day. And there are some thoughts that's going to bother you. Oftentimes, we tend to distract ourselves from those thoughts by scrolling reels or getting ourselves engaged in some conversation. Some people take it to a worse level in some form of addictions, body addictions, which are not good. But at the end of the day, it's the thoughts that comes back to bite you, isn't it? When you look at mental health illness, what is mental health illness in the beginning? If you look at the fundamentals of it, mental health is when you have lost the ability to communicate, to internalize your thoughts. You're not able to listen to your thoughts, process your thoughts, and it's turning out to be such a big mess between the ears. The first step is to listen to your own thoughts so that then you can start listening to others. The second L is, as you are listening to your thoughts, you got to start labeling the emotions that the thoughts are generating. We get into labels which are unnecessary. We get into polarized labels: good, bad, right, wrong, this, that, up, down, uh, positive, negative. As we grow, if you have you observed, as we grow, we are only told what's good and what's not good, what's right and what's not right. Okay. When you decide to label the thoughts just the way they are, I'm going to take a little bit of an aggressive example here. At times, growing up, uh, I was addicted to adult movies, as in where a lot of the complete, yeah, the most adult form of content, which is very, very bad for the brain. Okay, and I was so addicted that every single day, maybe twice or thrice, I used to watch and uh, pleasure myself. This continued from my college first year all the way to the fourth year. Horrible form of an addiction. Now, I got rid of the addiction when I realized that I was actually doing so to gain some form of a pleasure that makes me feel good for a few seconds. And that's what used to happen, right? You are watching an adult content, you're slowly elevating the pleasure feeling, so that you will have a point when you're self pleasuring yourself. You are going to feel some form of an ecstasy for a few milliseconds, not even seconds, milliseconds. But is that it? Because the very next emotion that comes in is guilt. I shouldn't have done it. We close up all our screens. For those of you who are watching and you've watched some form of adult content at some point of time, you will know what I'm talking about. Immediate guilt. And that becomes a cycle. What do you think it does to your emotions over a period of time? I replaced it when I understood that the actual thing I'm looking forward to is happiness, connection. Happiness is the main thing, because I was way too lonely in my hostel. I was looking for connection. And that's when On weekends, I used to go to the Satya Sai Seva organizations for Narayan Seva and medical camps and all these things. There I would meet our district youth coordinator brother. He was a very, very dear friend of mine. To this day, he still is. It was so magical to help and serve people. Although it did take me a while to realize, a year of doing it is when I realized I enjoy doing that more. Today, at this point of time, don't I watch erotic movies? Oh, yes, I do. But then I'm very, very aware that, yeah, I'm just watching it for entertainment purposes. And at the same time, I'm watching it once in a while. And again, these are movies, like a proper story script. It has good IMDb ratings and all. It's not just adult content where people are just taking their clothes off and all. It doesn't make any sense. And I've also realized that I enjoy playing badminton. I enjoy doing these kind of sessions where I'm just being open and raw. And that is happening because I'm able to label the different emotions that I go through. What is happiness? What is joy? What is bliss? What is elation? What is excitement? What is enthusiasm? Six different words, six different emotions, six different meanings. The intensity varies. Happy, bliss. If happiness is 10 out of 100, bliss is 80 out of 100. I'm aware of it, and that's why I'm able to label it. Once you label, you you begin to that last step where you will get to do exactly what I am doing, getting to speak and holding your attention for 46 minutes straight by just letting it flow. That's the third L. Your thoughts creates your feelings, and you express those feelings in an organized manner through your voice. And as you do so over and over and over and over and over again, that's the easiest form of self-regulation. That's the easiest form of meditation. That's the easiest form of building your natural confidence. Wow. Even I didn't think that it's going to come out this good, honestly. Of course, I will be taking feedback on this from Yogeshwari. I want feedback from you as well. Write down how your experience has been so far watching this. So we don't overcome, and these are the closing lines that I have here in my notes. We don't overcome stage fear by ignoring it. We transform it by turning inward. Because at the end, confidence, the true confidence, the word confidence itself, it has on in it. Yeah. It all begins with the conversation with yourself first. And that's why when you come to our 30-day life cohort, we start with that. We don't make you prepare anything at all. The first session itself, we ask you to introduce yourself. And then we give you a topic. Just speak whatever it is that comes in your mind. No judgments, the safe space. Just let us hear you as you are. And this goes on. 30 days is all it takes to transform. It all starts with you. If you're new to the lives, and if you've been here so far, I can't tell you how much it means to me, how much it means to get to serve you. This is the 8th episode, and we are just going to go on and on right now until I'm completely out of content. I don't think that'll happen because I keep learning every day something new or the other. What I'd love for you to do is tag someone you know so that they can show up and they can also learn. Share your thoughts below, whatever it is. What are the things you liked about today's session? What are the things you did not like? Share your thoughts below and I'll answer them. If you want the notes, the actual notes of this, you will start receiving them every Monday through the newsletter. I'm uploading all the notes over there and everything you will be able to go through. And we are launching our cohort in the month of December. We're only working with a very, very limited set of people. So if you're interested, just drop it in and we'll get you onboarded. That's where we are hand holding you. So the way that I'm doing it is the content is that something anyone in this world can learn absolutely for free. Because when I started out, I had to save up money to buy books or buy courses and training and mentoring programs to learn these skills, which what I learned this from some of the greatest souls on the planet. I'm just giving it to you for free. Implementation, I will make you do the same in the cohort. Okay. So if you love that, do share your insights. Start connecting with yourself. With that, this is Dr. Surdeep. I can't tell you how much I love you. So, so, so much. Take care. See you tomorrow.